Hello, 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 and thank you for joining. Let's see if you can tell who's joined. No, that's not what I need to do. No. Okay, that's fine. Hello, wow, thank you for joining me. It's nice to be here again with you tonight. I just returned actually from bringing my daughter back from GCSE theatre production. She went to watch, and that is why I'm starting a bit late, but I'm glad that you are able to join me. Hello, Aina. Thank you for joining. Please just type and say hello so I know who's here. Thanks for joining. My name is Pauline Lehman. I'm the founder of Star Riches Community Initiative, a charity with a mission to raise aspirations and break the cycle of Black people underachievement in education, as well as promote the well-being of BME children and their families. Our mission is to empower parents so that they can support their children to maximize their potential in education, so they can position their children correctly so that they can maximize their potential and take advantage of the opportunities in this land of opportunities where we are. Hello, Jotrice. Thank you for joining. So we help parents understand the structure of the school system and how they can support their children, as well as the opportunities that are available for them within the school system. And we also help parents in the area of ensuring that, the family well-being is maintained, because when a child is emotionally or psychologically down, they can't do well in school. So a child's educational attainment does not just depend on studying, it's also all the other factors. And that is why when I come up sometimes, I'm not just talking about education, I'm talking about other aspects of positive parenting and maintaining or helping our children, have a healthy sense of well-being so that they can be well-rounded, and confident children. So today we're going to be talking about family meal times. So family meal times for me in our family are very, very protected times that we really treasure. They have been amazing opportunities for us to bond with our children, for us. Okay, sorry about that. I just had an incoming call. When these things happen when you are just about to do a video, it's just horrible. So I was saying that, there's power in family meal times. So for us, it's been invaluable moments where, we've used them as teachable moments to teach values, in an informal way. We've done, we've laughed, we've shared our stories, where we came from, and that has kind of opened up, that free communication within our home. And so today I want to talk about family meal times, because for a lot of families within our community, family meal time is not always maximized. So the two things that happen is either, everyone is eating in the home in their different places, maybe bedroom, sitting room, or people are just eating around and not really using that moment in an intentional way to be able to achieve something. So, and then I also recognize obviously that there are people with different, work patterns that make it such that it might be a challenge to actually sit down together to have meals as families. And when I talk about family meal times together, I want to encourage. I know for some of us, due to our background, where we came from, we were not used to sitting down, probably around a table, as a family to eat. Okay, so but I am talking about a scenario where we can sit down together. Now, some homes may not have space for a dining table. Okay, I do acknowledge that that is a possibility, but then it's about sitting down together, even if it's just a sitting room that is available in a house. It's about that sitting down together, in unity and sharing a meal together. So I'm going to talk about, why it is really important for us to adopt. So, being in this part of the world or learning new information means, intending to put it into practice means that we have to unlearn our old ways. So we're going to, if that is the case for those of you watching, you would have to unlearn your old ways of probably maybe everyone eating in their own place and that kind of thing. Now, I did a talk in one youth group once, and I was asking them, how many of you actually sit down to eat as a family? And just a few hands went up. And I thought, wow, what a wasted opportunity for parents to actually bond with their children. So why is it really important? I think the primary thing, hello Irina, thank you very much for joining me late tonight. Now, as I share, please, I welcome comments, I welcome contributions, so that we can all benefit from each other. So the primary thing, I think is useful as concerning family mealtimes is the fact that we live in an era where we are very busy. So as parents, we're busy, we're working nonstop. We are busy on technology. Hello, Lillian. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Okay, hope you're well. So we are very busy. We work away from home. We work long hours. We work shift patterns. And then we have technology, which is the biggest source of distraction in our day and age. We've handed out mobile phones to our children. We ourselves have our mobile phones and we are stuck to and glued to these mobile phones, and it creates an environment whereby even when the entire family is physically present at home, we are not together. So the children are probably playing on their phones or watching on their phones. Hello, Fatuma, thanks for joining in. Hi, Linda, thank you for joining. So we're at home together, but dad is watching Nollywood, mom is listening to music or talking on the phone with somebody, the children are playing games on phones, and everybody, we are together, but we are not united. So I'm talking about the fact that in our day and age, with all these distractions, we need to be intentional about creating that avenue. Now, I work a lot with parents, and when I talk to parents, a lot of parents are struggling with actually making time to talk to their teenagers. A lot of parents find that the line of communication has been broken between themselves and their teenagers. But this is something that you can turn around just with simple things like ensuring that family meal times are set times, are protected times within our routines or our family structure. So the good starting point would be, even if you weren't having family meal times in the past, it's never too late to start. And I always think that it's always good to get the kids to see why. Have that conversation with them, why this is important, so that we take it up as a family. So this would be a protected time whereby the children who are in your teenagers who are stuck in their bedrooms will have no choice but to come out of their rooms and sit down together at the table. So I'm thinking about, in this case, those teenagers who just can't talk to their parents. I was a teacher in secondary school, and it was sad to see or to hear teenagers say they can't stand their parents, they can't talk to their parents, they lock themselves up in their bedrooms. So for such families, family meal times would be a very great opportunity to have all the family together, no excuses. We're eating together as a family. I think that is a very, very good opportunity to create for family to be together. So that is the first one. It's an opportunity to teach core basic family values. A lot of times, especially growing up in Africa, our parents would, in a lot of cases, parents would call a family meeting to talk to children when there is an issue that has come up. They're not happy with something. They want to either criticize you, to punish you, to tell you off, but I think that, within a lovely setting where we're eating together as a family, there are lots of opportunities there for us to, in our conversations, talk about our family values. You know, these family values are things that we need to keep talking about over and over again rather than a one-time thing. So we need to take advantage of as many opportunities to keep the communication going within the home. So instill core values in an informal manner. It helps you to understand your child better, because you understand your child better by relating to them, by talking to them. Not by only talking to them when you want to give them an instruction or tell them off, but by talking about everything. As I said, you know, we would talk to our children about our lives, you know, some of the mistakes we made and lessons we learned from them. Get them to talk about, you know, what they like, the things that they like, you know, to that interest them. That is always a good starting point to enhance communication with our children, especially the teenagers. If you start to talk about the things that they like, you see that they start to talk. So just get that talking. And there are some ground rules. No criticism, no judgment, no telling off, no coming back on past mistakes and things that would hurt our children or hinder that free communication from flowing. We really want family meal times to be memorable moments that when our children leave home, they will remember that during the times where we ate together as a family, my dad said stories, my mom made us laugh, they said this and they said that. And I think it is so important. To be honest, children value moments like that more than all the gadgets and technology that we buy for them. Now, I found family meal times to be really really useful time for us to be able to encourage healthy eating. So we set the table to get, you know, the children set the table, and then we put the meals out. You know, we are eating vegetables and we're talking about vegetables, the benefits of eating vegetables, how this carrots is important for the eyes, how these vegetables are high in antioxidants, and we describe, you know, what they're doing to our bodies. And this helped, I noticed that, I realized that it helped the children to start to want to eat vegetables, to start to be interested in vegetables, because we were all eating it nicely, enjoying it, and telling them about the benefits of it. So much can happen. We teach them about healthy eating. And I think this also, eating together, provides a model for them to take into their own future family lives, to build strong families with a very solid family relationship, a closely knit family. So when we sit down together and eat, you know, children learn from us. They learn from home. Home is the number one, you know, school for all children. So what they see us do at home, they take it as that is what is meant to happen. So in our home, we eat together at the table and we're talking. And so when they have their own homes, they grow up, the adults, they get married, they would do the same. So the standards that we set that children can take along into adulthood to help them build strong relationship. One other thing I think is really useful, which is really sad, is that a lot of parents, especially parents of teenagers, are not very keen to notice the changes in moods of their teenagers. But if we sit down at the table to eat together, if you practice sitting down, and a child that normally talks and smiles and laughs suddenly, you know, doesn't talk, is withdrawn, you know, you would pick it up. Yes, so you pick it up and then you find out from them what is happening. It's shocking that some children have been in the family homes and have committed suicide. Children have been in family homes and have been bullied, you know, to the extent that they hate themselves. So this is a great opportunity for you to notice your child's change of mood, to notice they have to talk about their feelings. You can pick up things and start to talk about their feelings. You know, you get to understand your child and it helps you to step in and rescue them just at the right time. Hello, Jane. Thanks for joining. Hope you are well. And I'm going to read out some research here. Research shows that teenagers who are used to eating regular meals with their parents or regular family meals together are less likely to be involved in dysfunctional behavior. They are less likely to be involved in early teen relationships. Why do they need relationships out there? A lot of times it's because mom and dad are not there to talk to them and laugh to them. Nobody is there to smile at them and tell them you look good. Okay, so when these children go out there and people show love and concern to them, they easily give in. But this is research, it's not me here. It is the research showing that children who are used to eating, in the homes, have family meals together, are less likely to get involved in early teen relationships. They are also less likely to, or there's a decreased risk of substance abuse. There's an increased sense of personal and social well-being and better academic performance. So there are lots and lots of benefits of families sitting together to eat. And something else, it's when we sit together to eat as a family, we teach children table manners, etiquette. Now, it's been interesting to see some parents, probably at the restaurant, struggling to hold the knife and fork in the right way. But when you sit down as a family, even if you don't know what to do, we can watch quickly as a family, get a YouTube video and just watch a video to show us how to use the cutlery right, to show us how to set the table right, what glass to use or what glass is used for which. You never know where our children would go. They might be invited to the Buckingham Palace to dine with the Queen of England. They may be a top manager and they have to dine, in a high quality setting with people at that level who know what they're doing. You don't want your child or yourself to be in a position where you are struggling to you're holding the knife, digging in and, using knife, fork and spoon wrong and in the wrong way. So I think etiquette, table manners are key things that we can teach our children to avoid them being embarrassed when they go out there or even in adult life. So those are some benefits that I have shared. Now, it's always good to start. I always say that learning is, educating ourselves is a lifelong process. We're learning all the time. So if we were not used to doing this, then there is always a room for us to start to do it. So the starting point, I would say the first thing is to be intentional about what you want to achieve with this. Now, when you know exactly what you want to achieve through family meal times, it's going to help you want to be committed. It's going to help you too to put your phones down in our home. There is no TV, there is no phones, no technology when we're having our family meals together. That is a rule, and there is a fine for it. So just find what works for you. But the most important thing is, what is your big why? What do you want to accomplish? Do you want to get to know your children better? Do you want to tell them about your story? Do you want to tell them about other people's stories that will help them learn? I've also come across parents who say, but we don't really know what to talk about with our children. Now, if that is you, plan in advance. What can you tell your child? Maybe you want to teach them about self-discipline. You could use a couple of lunchtime just to talk about self-discipline. Maybe start with a story. Just talk about how lack of discipline got you in trouble or made you to miss an opportunity or made you to, to not do something that was really, really important. And then get into the conversation. What do they think? How could we work on that? How could we improve that? And what do we think about how disciplined we are? And each child maybe will tell you what they think about themselves and what they want to achieve eventually. So if you are the sort of parent that struggles with knowing what to talk about, there is so much that you can talk about with your child, even from your own example, your own story, even from the stories of others. Talk about other people's stories. Talk about the news. Talk about things that come up on the news. We talk about pedophiles. When we talk about that with our children, we break it down to the level that is age appropriate for them. We can't leave any stone unturned. We talk about early, teenage relationships. We talk about why the need for that. What are some of the drawbacks? How would that, not be very useful for a teenager to get involved in? So we're talking about everything really. So if you struggle with that, it's important to plan, to put things down, maybe how daddy and mom, or if it's a two-parent family, to talk up, have a plan for what you want to talk about, what you want to instill in your children. So that is really important. So good starting point, block up time for family meals. So when you come back from work, at what time do you want to put in the family meals? What is the sequence of things you want to do when you come back from work, or when the kids come back, when you all get home? Do you want them to have a snack, go and play outside, and then come back and do homework? Maybe you want to have your meals at 6-7 p.m. So make it work for you. If you come back home late, then it's going to be a lot later. But it's important that you block that time so that the children know that at that time we are having family meals. So if there's someone wanting to talk to them on the phone or on social media, they know that they have to say, sorry, this is a time when we're having family meals and I have to leave you here. That is really, really important. Someone says, there's a quote that says, failing to plan is planning to fail. Whatever we want to see happen in our lives, in our families, we need to plan in, the time to do those things. So that is the first one. And I do appreciate that families have varied shift patterns. So people work maybe nights, others work long days and things like that. I would, and it makes it such that they struggle to actually create that time where the family comes together. I encourage, if it's just mom and children, please have that family meal time together. If it's just dad and children, make it happen together. And then in the weekend or whenever both parents are around, let's take advantage of that and make that family time happen as well. Now, someone might be saying here, we don't have a dining room or a dining table. I do appreciate that, especially in Europe. If you're watching from Europe, some houses are not big enough and don't have a dining room. So if you don't have a dining room, it's not a problem. It shouldn't stop you from eating together as a family. You could all, get the food served and just sit down in the sitting room on the sofa. The most important thing, TV off, phones off, and we are talking, we are conversing, we are laughing, we are telling jokes, and so on. And for some of us, from the cultures we come from, we probably sit down on the floor and we share the meal together. Again, that is absolutely fine. We don't have to adopt, certain cultures that are not necessarily ours. If you want to be you in your home, that is your territory, it is absolutely fine. But what I want to emphasize here, just make it happen. That builds that, sense of unity, that spirit of togetherness, to sitting down together, to share meals together. So I'm just going to run through, again, the key benefits of eating as a family. I think the most important one is to block off time where we can relate as a family due to the busyness of the world in which we live and due to the distractions of technology, social media, and all the noise that is all around us. That is key. Second benefit I would say is we want to raise children that are, that will not get involved in dysfunctional behavior, that won't get involved in early relationships, that will not get involved in substance abuse and all sorts of dysfunctional relationships or dysfunctional activities out there. We want to be able to instill values. It will help us to instill core family values, and talk about core skills that are valuable for life. It's going to help us to understand our children better because we're talking with them. We are getting into their minds. We are getting into their mindset, into their thinking, thought processes, just to ensure that we know them better. It's an opportunity to bond. It's an opportunity to promote healthy eating. It's an opportunity to set the standard for our children that our children will take into adult life with them, and that will help them to build solid relationships even when they become parents or when they have their own families. So I've summarized it all here. If there are any questions or anybody wants to contribute, if you want to share your experience with us, please feel free to do so. If you haven't liked our Facebook page, please do like our Facebook page, Star Richards Community. It's Facebook/ capital SRCI 2016. Please like it so that when I come up, you can receive notifications, and I do post daily tips, hints, information that parents need to know about their children's education, and anything that I find useful to support children on their parenting journey. So please like the page if you haven't done so yet. So I hope you found this really helpful. If you did, and you think it's going to benefit someone else, another parent that you know, please feel free to share the video now and share it with all your contacts. Okay, so can't see any questions or any comments. I'm not going to keep us any longer. Thank you for all the hearts and the thumbs up. I will see you again next week. Until then, for those who are enjoying the half-term holidays, please keep enjoying it. Make every opportunity to bond with your children, and remember to keep them reading so that they do not fall behind with their reading and their schoolwork. Okay, so you have a wonderful weekend, and God bless you richly. Goodbye.